Okay, well, shall I continue? Yeah? Okay. Well, you were talking about the imagination as an interface, and like every single interface is constructed and like created and crafted by someone else, and then you talk about going with the flow, but thinking at perspective from Luke McLuhan.
From what?
McLuhan, Marshall McLuhan. Well, he says that every single technology is an enhancement and an amputation of every single human capacity. So you let me thinking about at which point will this like revolution of the self or redefinition of the self will affect us collectively, or at which point it will be like okay to go with the flow with technology and the ones that add like programming or cognitive and our cognitives and our perspective of the world and everything.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I got a question out of that. Can you try to, I mean, I can just talk about McLuhan, but I just didn't know if you had a specific question because I didn't quite get that.
Oh yeah, no, it's just about like at what point which we will reach a point in which our imagination, our constructive imagination will affect us collectively, or...
Oh, okay, that's a very interesting... Well, I think it's already, that thing is already happening. I mean, the McLuhan idea that every technology we have is at once an enhancement and an amputation is, I think, really key. And that what I'm saying is what we have right now is the capacity to produce extraordinary imaginative scenarios that are collective, but also imply, and you can see the cut that is the amputation. So the example of computer games, again, I think is a rich one where we can see this incredibly complex world. It has its own dynamics. It's full of engagement. It's full of affect. People make meaning out of it. And yet there's a certain way in which it's kind of, at least from my perspective, I can see the amputation. So can I imagine a future where there's a more authentic sort of weaving of the imaginative capacity in technology? I can in a science fiction way, but I don't necessarily believe that point is coming, and I even maybe I'm a little distrustful of imagining that that's the case. What it seems like to me is we're in a situation where we kind of have to be amphibious. We have to be operating in the world of collected images that are circulating through technology, but at the same time we have to be aware of that critical distance, or of that break where we still within have the capacity to reconnect and re-engage and see through that, perhaps to another way of seeing and being. Perhaps down the line, something new will come out of that process and then we can just go with the flow. But I tend to distrust that idea because of its dampening effect. So I see it more as like a tension we have to continue to be true to as creatives, to not just go with the flow, but to not just break ourselves off and deny the possibility of a more authentic kind of expression through technology.